So in the chat room, everybody, I'm putting my contact information here. A message to everyone. Okay. Let's see. Oh, maybe it's too long. It's having trouble send. So what I would do is I will cut off part of it. Okay. So I send one block, send another block. So everybody see in the chat room the information about 3 activities. Everybody's most welcomed. One is the Vision Zoom, September 30th. And second is next Shi Ban Gong Bei, which is October 15th. And finally is a block about the movie. And you're welcome to come. So I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen about the today's presentation. Let's see. Okay, Shi Ban Gong Bei. Okay, let me make sure I share the screen. Stop share. Share now. Okay, here we go. Dr. Chen, can you see the screen?
Yeah, very good.
Okay, good. So everybody, good evening. This is a monthly Shi Ban Gong Bei Pro Zoom. We're going to talk about 77 pros that has helped me make my work a lot more efficient, and I'd like to share with you. And Shi Ban Gong Bei is based on this little booklet in the right upper corner, Shi Ban Gong Bei. If you're interested, let us know. We'll be happy to mail you a free copy of the book. Shi Ban Gong Bei is an ancient Chinese saying about accomplishing twice the work in half the time, and combining the wisdom of East and the West to accomplish things more successfully and efficiently. On the screen is my contact information. You can take a picture. And also at the bottom is the movie site, the free link. Regarding about myself, just briefly, I practice ophthalmology in Nashville, Tennessee, and doing laser eye surgeries, perform over 55,000 laser vision corrections, including on over 4,000 doctors. I came from China. Briefly about myself, survived the Cultural Revolution, had to play the erhu and learning dancing to escape labor camp. And 1976, Cultural Revolution ended. I was able to get into University of Science and Technology of China. In the film site, you see briefly my story. In 1982, I came to America, got my PhD degree in laser physics at the University of Maryland, finished postdoc at MIT, and then got enrolled at Harvard Medical School, MIT, joined MD program. In 1991, I finished and invited my parents over, thanking them for they have brought me up. The movie Sight is dedicated to my parents. The reason I got 2 doctorate degrees, one in medicine, MD, one a PhD in laser physics, is because medicine is so technologically driven. So most of doctors are MD, but few have the opportunity to study technology in depth. So I'm very fortunate to be one of the few laser eye surgeons in the world who has a PhD degree also, in addition to MD. And I performed over 55,000 laser vision corrections. This is my graduation from Harvard MIT MD program. I met then President Ronald Reagan. The film site talk about our work in helping blind orphan children. They talk about this 5-year-old Indian orphan who was intentionally blinded by her own stepmother in India, who was trying to make cajole the 5-year-old orphan, a blind orphan child who can sing on the street, who then get more money by begging. So Sight, the movie, is cajole's remarkable journey to come from darkness to light. In order to do research, we found that a fetus does not scar. But how can you do research on fetus to help our patients, but at the same time without hurting the fetal life? They say there's no common ground between faith and science. Is that really true? And I built a nonprofit organization, Seek Common Ground. And through much work, through praying, and we found that we can use the placenta, the amniotic membrane, which that's what maybe the tissue give an unborn child the ability to heal without scar. So use lots of placenta donated by mothers after giving birth to children. I started doing lots of research, and long story short, invented amniotic membrane contact lens. I donated my patent to the world and went around the world, taught over 10,000 eye doctors throughout the world. Today, amniotic membrane contact lens is a $5 billion a year industry. Millions of patients have eyesight helped or restored throughout the world. And the film site talked about this particular technology. Actually, I did not make any money myself because I donated my patent in the beginning. Dry eye, as you get older, the eye gets drier. And that's one of the more difficult conditions to treat, aging eye condition. And this patient, we put the amniotic contact lens on, her eyes start healing like a baby. And she's very happy. So amniotic membrane contact lens shows it's a wonderful technology, has transformed the world, but also it shows that science and faith do have common ground. Finally, I live in Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, USA. Our USA and our technology, I did lots of research, published a paper in the journal Nature. These are 10 textbooks that are published in ophthalmology, and 7 of them are translated in Mandarin Chinese. I was the first Chinese American to be in the FDA ophthalmic device panel, and also we're training surgeons from worldwide. We performed the world's first laser artificial cornea implantation. And the 5 human eye conditions today, myopia, hyperopia, astigmatism, presbyopia, and cataract, all can be treated now. From age 18 to 107. Age 18 and plus, SMILE is making LASIK obsolete. LASIK is going out of date. It's now replaced by better technology called SMILE, small incision, lower left corner implantable contact lens. If you wear contact lenses and you don't want to remove it at that time, we got technology put it inside your eye, so you never need to remove it. In the middle, over age 45, we got technology to fix your reading now. And on the right, cataract surgery can perform with laser instead of blade. But despite the fact that these 4 top technologies are the best that humankind has to offer in the year 2025, only 5% of US surgeons are using it, these top 4 technologies. Why? Because the medicine is so technological driven, so it takes a while for all the doctors to adapt to new technology. But instead of only 5% utilization of these top 4 technologies in the United States today, at our center in Nashville, Tennessee, we use these top 4 technologies 100% of the time. We're leading America in the percentage of high-tech application. Every Tuesday, we have a Zoom in the right upper corner. You can take a picture of the screen. You can contact me if any eye question. My email address at the bottom, and also my WeChat. This is SMILE, the technology of replacing LASIK. Reading problem we can fix now through Forever Young lens, and also cataract surgery could be performed with laser. So living in Nashville, Tennessee, I have my share of, country music star patients like Dolly Parton. I've been returning to China on a regular basis, And I actually performed the first all-laser LASIK at the Shanghai IRI Hospital. And our eye clinic in Nashville attract patients from around the world. The reason I have the foundation, which is what the movie Sight is about, this is real Kajal you saw in the film, the 5-year-old Indian child, is because I think I'm very fortunate to be born in China, which give me the character, and have the opportunity in America that give me the opportunity to learn the best technology. So I want to pay back. Dancing I learned during Cultural Revolution has become a hobby. I built the eyeball medical charity. And also Erhu I learned during Cultural Revolution that escape labor camp has become a hobby as well. I learned it to showcase Asian music to the West. This is a Tennessee Immigrant Minority Business Group that I founded to help Latino American, African American, Asian Americans, business people. And I talked at the churches all the time about science and faith have common ground. Asian Americans, we need to stand up for our rights. And this is National of the Year and honor. And I teach locally, university. So I just want to finish this part about me with a quick trailer of the movie. So everybody can turn up the computer sound, 2 minutes, trailer of the movie Sight.
I'm going to help you see again.
You said it was impossible.
Ah, there he is, the good doctor.
You're going to be on the cover of the Tennessee Herald tomorrow morning. You may get a date out of this.
No, that picture.
Very funny.
Our pro bono office got a call from India. A little girl, 6 years old.
Apparently, street beggars make more money if they're legitimately blind. So the stepmother poured sulfuric acid in each of her eyes.
I'm going to help you see again, Kajal.
Is it true that multiple doctors declared your patient irreversibly blind?
Yes, I developed this new breakthrough technology. Here we go. Do you see the light?
No. I can't see anything.
I have this patient from India. She reminds me of some things in the past that I can't get over.
The present is made possible by the past.
A long time ago back in China, there was an uprising in my hometown. Many bad things happened.
So you came to America.
Yes.
It's hard getting into medical school, but you coming from China, don't waste your time. You cannot change the past, Ming.
I feel like I'm stuck.
Hello, doctor. This is Maria.
We want to give her a chance to see again.
I don't even know if I can perform surgery anymore. I left you.
Stop it. You need to just let go.
I just don't want Maria to end up like Kajal.
We can only do our best. I'm with you, Ming. We can do this.
I refuse to believe there is no purpose.
I will be praying for you.
Kajal is teaching me that there's more to life than what you see. We have to keep going.
Thought you said it was impossible.
Can you see yourself, Maria?
I'm so pretty.
And the film can be seen free of charge. So if you pass the link around to people, you're literally helping the foundation. So more people know about our work to help blind orphan children around the world. So more blind orphan children can be helped. So really appreciate everyone's help by passing this free link around. You can take a picture of the screen and share with friends. The next Shi Ban Gong Bei is October 15th, Wednesday. Please take a picture of the screen so you remember when the next one. If you're interested in the book, please email me your mailing address and I'll be happy to mail you the book. So you can take a picture of the screen and remember, give me your mailing address so I can mail a free Shi Ban Gong Bei book to you. People often ask the question, how much I can improve my efficiency by studying the Shi Ban Gong Bei pearls? This answer may surprise you, up to 1,000%. How come? Jonathan Haidt, New York Times bestseller, wrote a book called Righteous Mind, shows that we are mostly irrational. However, if we are irrational and random, we cannot be helped. Then somebody else, Professor Dan Ariely of Duke University, wrote another New York Times bestseller called Predictably Irrational. Shows that we're irrational, all right, but we're predictably so. So standing on the shoulder of these two giants, I published my booklet called Shi Ban Gong Bei, accomplishing double in half the time. The point is that by studying our irrational but predictable behavior, and then apply the seldomly applied logic, we can in fact improve 90% the irrational part of ourselves, convert that to rational, therefore can reach a 10 times improving efficiency or up to 1000%. And one of the frequent questions I get asked by friends over the years is, how many hours do you have in a day, Ming? Do you have like 48 hours or something? My answer always surprised them. I always tell them that sometimes I feel I have 72, 96 hours. How come? Because I use these Shi Ban Gong Bei pearls that I learned from people who are a lot smarter than me and a lot more successful than me. So Shi Ban Gong Bei, 77 pearls, is a collection of human naturally driven irrational behaviors, and how we can then apply logic to overcome these predictable irrationality, therefore enable us to do things much more efficiently. So we have gone through many of these early pearls early, so I'm going to actually read through those early pearls without stopping until about pearl 40. That's the new pearl today. So I will not explain, I will just simply run through the first 39 pearls. Pearl 1. In partnership, the person is more important than the project. In partnership, who your partner is more important than what you will be doing together. Examine the character of a potential partner before entering into a business relationship with him or her. With the right partner, you may be able to do the right thing, but with the wrong partner, you may never be able to do the right thing. Pearl 2. In solving a problem, the matter is more important than the person. When addressing a problem, you should not focus on the personal attributes of the individual who made a mistake. If you do, you will place the focus on the person, him or herself, which may then incite his or her ego and create an emotional barrier that could cause him or her to never be able to see the issue itself. Therefore, you should focus on the issue instead of the person. The goal is to solve the problem and improve the system, not to blame on any particular person. Pearl 3. Life is a two-way street. If you need someone to assist you with your project, you first need to do everything possible you can to help that person first with his or her project. Then he or she may be more willing to inclined to help you. A person who always wants to just take but never give will never be successful. Pearl 4. Make it easy for others to help you. If you need help with your project, you need to first accomplish as much as you can yourself. Don't be lazy. If the person from whom you need help sees that you truly care about your own project, that you have already done as much as you can yourself before you ask for help, then he or she may be more willing to help you. Furthermore, the more you have done yourself prior to asking for help, the less he or she will have to do, and therefore the easier it will be for him or her to help you. Pearl 5. Why am I here today? Whatever you're doing, always be willing to step back for a moment, look at the whole situation, and ask yourself this question. Ultimately, what is the real reason or purpose of me being here today? Pearl 6. Identify the number one task. When faced with many challenges, rank them in order of importance, so you can then devote most of your attention to the number one task. The ability to rank lies in the core of human experience. Number 7, apply logic to everything you do. Apply logic to everything you do, whether it's big or small, and ask yourself this question: does it actually make logical sense, this way of doing it? And how can I logically solve this problem? Pro 8, check things orthogonally. When you check something for accuracy, try not to use the same method that you used to obtain your initial result to begin with. Because if there's an error with that method, you are likely to make the same mistake again. You're much more likely to catch an error if you use a completely different and unrelated, i.e. orthogonal in logic, method the second time. Pro 9, focus on the content before form. Content is more important than form, and substance is more important than formality. Pro 10, focus only on what you do and the things you can control. Don't worry about what others do. Focus only on what you can do yourself. Do not waste time on anything that are not under your control. Focus only on the things that you can do and change. 11, learn from others' mistakes. Learn from the mistakes of others, so hopefully you won't have to make the same mistake yourself. Stay focused on the point. Don't be distracted by examples that people use. Always keep your focus on the issue itself. Pro 13, don't try to change someone else. Adapt and change yourself. You cannot change another person anyway, but you can change yourself. The ideal work partner should be someone who at the onset already possesses many attributes that will enable you two to work together. If adjustments are needed after you begin working together, adapt and change yourself. Pro 14, success is a measure by effort, not by result. Success is not defined by how much we have accomplished, but by whether or not we have made the best effort. If you've done your best in everything you've done, then you are successful. 15, people will do what others have done in a similar situation. If you want someone to do something, first try to identify and then convey to him or her what others in the same situation have done previously. Since people generally feel more comfortable doing something which has been done by others who have been in their shoes. 16, can I do this a little bit better? Whatever you're part of it, whether it's a process or a product, always be willing to ask yourself, can you do this little thing? Can you do this a little bit better? Pro 17, help others to recall the issue first. When you follow up with someone on an issue, remember that although you are fully aware of it, since it is your issue, he or she may not be. So first try to help that person recall what it is all about, so that he or she wouldn't have to spend extra time, him or herself, figuring that out. If the individual has to do that, he or she may very well end up not doing the things you want him or her to do because it seems just like it's too much trouble. And remember, it is not even his or her project to begin with. It's your project. 18, always be prepared with a backup plan. Whatever you do, go into it fully prepared with at least a plan B or sometimes even plan C. When something unexpected happens and you're not already prepared for the alternative plan, then going back to the drawing board is a total waste of time. 19, improve the system itself. When solving a problem, don't be satisfied with only solving the problem itself. Instead, try to examine the system from which the problem arose in the first place, and find ways to improve the underlying system itself. 20. Identify the real intention of a person. The real intention of a drunkard is not necessarily in the wine. Someone who may appear to want something, but actually he or she may really want something else. 21. Listen and then speak. Listen first. Let people finish what they are saying, and then speak. If you wait, you will avoid speaking prematurely. 22. Among life's uncertainties, identify the few things that are indeed certain. When we face with many uncertainties, identify among them the few things that are indeed certain, and then hang your hat on them. 23. At least try. If you don't even try, you have zero chance to succeed. But if you do try, even when you only have 1% chance of success, it is still much better than 0%. 24. 3 criteria to determine if you do need to solve a problem. So the first question is, does the problem really exist? Second, is it a big problem that merit the time and effort that would take to solve it? And finally, even if a problem exists, even if it's a big problem, do you really have to solve it? 25. On what does human happiness depend? A human happiness is not about how much you have or how much you want even. That determines your happiness. Human happiness depends on the distance between how much you have and how much you want. The smaller the distance, the happier you are. 26. Restate the question, please. Before we hurry to answer the question, sometimes it is helpful to ask, could you please restate the question again? Clarifying what was actually being asked of you is often half of the battle. 27. The goal of life. The goal of life is not about seeing how much we can accomplish, but rather if we are happy throughout the journey. Life is not about feeling that we have arrived at wherever. Life is about enjoying the process of trying to get there. 28. You can actually change the reality around you. The traditional wisdom is that you cannot really change your surroundings and the reality around you. That's actually wrong. In fact, you can. If you're always positive, for example, always choosing to do something rather than not trying at all, always deciding to look at the glass as half full rather than half empty, then eventually you will find that people around you have all somehow magically changed, and all are happy. So how did your surrounding change like that? Well, that's because you have caused it to change. You have chosen to be positive. And you are actually the one who have created a happy reality and environment around you. Because the birds of the similar feather flock together. So the point is, you can change if you choose to. Your subjective choice does influence the objective reality around you. 29. Do everything a little bit better. Contrary to popular belief, people who are successful in life often do not have incredible, earth-shattering, unique skills and or secrets that others don't have. They are just slightly more diligent and alert, always watching with everything they do, try to find the opportunities to maximize their effort in order to do a little bit better than others. They may just do 1% better than others in one thing, but cumulatively over time, they eventually end up doing much better in life overall than most of us. 30. 90% what you think is happening to us is actually our reaction to it. Of all things we think are happening to us, 10% is indeed the things that are happening to us, which we have no control, but 90% is actually our reaction, which we do have control. So if we can improve our subjective reaction, we can in fact control 90% of what we believe are objective things that are happening to us. 31. Yin and Yang. Life is about balance, yin and yang. Going to one extreme often generates exactly the opposite effect of what you desire. If you are an extreme in effort at something, you can actually end up being non-productive, bad at accomplishing that desired goal. 32. Before you speak, first rank your questions or answers. People pay the most attention to what you say first. So before you ask a question or answer one, first think it through in your own mind, and then ask the most important question first. Similarly, when answering a question, figure out in your mind your top and most critical answer, and then state that first. A frog at the bottom of a well, 33. Each of us is a frog at the bottom of a well, i.e. our perspective, basis for judgment, and opinions are limited by our own experience and exposure. We look up and see a small round patch of clear sky and believe it's a beautiful day. However, when we climb out of the well up to the ground level, we now look around and around the entire sky, we may then realize it's actually a cloudy day. We see a small patch of sky that we were able to see earlier when we were at the bottom of the well was actually not at all representative of the whole situation. 34. The goal of our communication. The goal of our communication should not be just to get a chance to just talk. The goal should be to make sure that our listeners do understand what we're talking about. Don't just continue talking and be oblivious of whether or not your listener understands or even cares at all about what you're saying. 35. The best teacher. The best teacher is not someone who knows the most, but rather someone who knows the most about what his or her students know. 36. People may be wrong, but they still want to be respected and heard. Although people may be wrong, they still want to be respected and heard. So respect them and let them fully express their opinion and consider carefully what they say to show your respect to them. 37. Left and right brains. 1 + 1 more than 2. A right brain dominant person is supposed to be creative and artistic, and one who is considered left brain is rational or logical. However, we should not be limited by these classifications, i.e., sometimes we say I'm a right brain person, so I'm not good at logical things, or vice versa. Instead, we should engage your right brain to help your logical tasks, such as applying artistry to a precision eye surgery for me, and summon your left brain to help your creative work, such as applying mechanical, physical principles in learning a creative art such as ballroom dancing. Rather than treating these two half-brains as two isolated halves, my suggestion is our right and left brains are meant to work together synergistically. It is a situation when you combine these two half-brains together, you will create a magical 1 + 1 more than 2 effect. 38. Don't do it, don't write it. If you don't want people to know what you're doing, then simply don't do it. If you don't want people to read what you have written, then just simply don't write it. 39, don't criticize unless you have a better idea. And this is a very interesting thing. I was just the other day with a friend, and I suggested an idea, and he said, no, that's not a good idea. I said, do you have a better idea? He said, no. I said, then my idea is the best. So whatever, there's no perfect idea. So whatever the idea is the best is the best. If you don't have a better idea, shut up. So if you don't have a better idea, then keep your mouth closed. If you want to criticize something, always be ready to offer what you believe is a better solution. Critique someone without having a better idea is a complete waste of time for everybody's time. The ultimate drive in life. The ultimate drive in life is to love what you do. If you don't, then change. So ladies and gentlemen, I covered the first 40 pearls. So today, we're going to go for the next 10 pearls. 41. Maintain fairness, independent of human bias and favorism. A system is truly fair if it is independent of the identity of any particular person who is placed in that position in the system. I have learned this pearl in a hard way. I lead a eye center, and I used to, trying to assess if a person, the system is fair or not, without detaching that person. So I found that I have to be deliberate, and really the fair way to assess if the system is fair, if I remove whoever is in that person and evaluate that position objectively. Sometimes I learn to put a different person in that position so that I can be objective. 42, the ultimate failure. A human being, if left to his own vices, is bound to become corrupt since we are all selfish in nature. The best way to develop a solid, incorruptible system is to not rely upon any assumptions of goodness and unselfishness of any human being. It should be a fair system, and no one should be above that system. Human being is selfish in nature. If someone is in a position of power for a long time, it's guaranteed it will be a corrupt system. So the only way is to make sure that we recognize that and do not let anyone to sit in a position for too long period of time. 43, today is important too. Yesterday is what we have done. Tomorrow, it's about what we will do. But how about today? Should today merely just serve to remember what we did yesterday and to prepare what we will do tomorrow? This is not fair. Today has a right to be its own day. If a today has day right, yesterday had day right, today has its day right, like human right. Focus on today. Stay in the moment and make the best of it right now. Think about it. The reason we need to actually constantly remind ourselves as such, stay in the moment, enjoy the moment, is because we naturally really don't do that. We naturally skip today. So it's our natural tendency. We need to recognize that. We need to focus on today. Today has its own day right. 44. A truly fair business deal. A truly fair business deal is one which you can picture yourself stepping into a partner's shoes. And when you look at the deal from that perspective, it is still fair. Then it's a fair deal. In all human interactions, Always be willing to look at things from others' perspective. And this is so important in anybody who is involved in business. You know, you want Johnny to sign on the deal. The best way to make sure that deal is fair to Johnny is to be Johnny momentarily and look at the deal, see whether it's fair. That's the most objective, fairest way to examine any deals in business. 45. Establishing validity first before you examine the efficacy. If Johnny always tells lies, then you are not going to listen to anything that he says, right? So before you consider what a person has to say, the content, first spending a little bit of time examining his or her validity. Only evaluate what the person actually says after you have a chance to establish that person is indeed reliable and his or her opinion, whatever it is indeed worth considering. It's important. If Johnny always tells lies, you're not going to listen to anything that he says. Our human nature is that we are inefficient. We jump into what Johnny says and finally realize that it's not trustable because the people who express the opinion is not trustworthy. We have not established the validity of the speaker first. So do that. 46. Never assume you're the smartest person in the world. If people do something in a different way than the way you do it, don't just dismiss their way and believe in that you're simply just a smarter person. You'll be proven wrong. People do things in certain ways is for a reason. So it is better to be humble and study what they do and why they do it, as there's always something to learn from everyone. I have learned this in a hard way. You know, when I was younger and I figure something and other people don't do that, I just automatically assume I was smarter. And I got burned nearly every time, proven I was wrong. I was not smarter. People do things differently because they have their own reasons, and they're smart. Don't assume you're the smartest person. 47, start with the big picture. You cannot see the forest for the trees. So always start with the big picture, the forest, before being bogged down with the individual details, the trees. This is so important. Sometimes when we discuss things, human nature is gravitate towards the trees. So overcome the human natural irrationality and inefficiency by training yourself to look at the forest. You will be a lot more efficient. 48. Kill many birds with one stone. The best way to improve efficiency is to identify the commonalities among tasks you need to do, and try to just do one or very few things that will take care of everything. I'm learning this pros almost every day. I find that when I solve a problem, it's important not just focus on the problem itself, but focus on what's in common, similar problems, and identify their commonalities. Because if I can do that, I'm a lot more efficient because I can solve this problem as well as all other similar problems. Next, improve methodology doing something. 99% of us focus on accomplishing a job, but only 1% do more than that. After the job is done, 99% will just move on to other things, but the 1% linger a bit longer, ponder and reflect. Can I do this sort of thing a little bit better the next time around? Has another person finished the job in a way that was actually better than mine? What can I learn from this experience so I can improve the way I do things in the future? The nature of the work that we do will not stay with us since we will do different things tomorrow, but the improvement in our method of doing things, which are made from learning from this experience, will always stay the same. In other words, what we do every year is different as human beings, but how we do it stay the same. If one is honest, follow through, doesn't matter what you do, you're going to manifest that good quality these two, honest and follow through. But if you meet someone who in the past has not been honest, follow through, or poor communicator, do not expect he or she will change. Okay? Do not. Just focus always about people, how they do things do not change, even though what they do changes. Last pro today, pro 50. To be successful is to work selectively. People say that to be successful, one has to be talented and work hard. Well, these two factors are indeed two of the top three qualities needed to be successful. However, neither is actually one. So let's stop and think about what I'm talking about here. People typically say, well, Johnny is successful because he is so talented, smart, or Johnny is successful because he works hard. Well, these two, smart and working hard, are among the top three qualities to be successful, but in my opinion, neither of them is number one. So what is number one factor that may help us make us successful? The most important thing to do if you want to be successful is to work intelligently by selecting only a few things, focusing on them, and do the best you can with these few things. The goal is not to continue adding your to-do list, but rather to work on subtracting various things on your plate until there's actually nothing to subtract. This is what I found, that yes, we need to be somewhat intelligent and we need to work hard, but one thing that's being overlooked is to be selective. Develop a skill set in you how to select what are the things you need to work on, what are the things you do not need to work on. That's a very important pro for life. So ladies and gentlemen, we covered 50 of the 77 pros. And once again, in a summary, that these Shi Ban Gong Bei pros can improve your efficiency by 10 times or up to 1,000%. Why? Because 90% of ourselves is irrational, only 10% logical. Not only that, we are systematically, predictably irrational. That's why we can devise a systematic solution such as what you heard today to address our natural irrationality and inefficiencies. So standing on the shoulder of these two giants, I published my third book called Shi Ban Gong Bei, meaning by systematically studying our irrational but predictable behavior and apply the seldom applied logic, we can in fact improve 90% the irrational part of ourselves, thus reaching a 1,000% improvement in our efficiency. So Shi Ban Gong Bei is 77 nature-driven irrational behaviors and how we can apply logic to overcome them and do things much more efficiently. Today you got a taste of these pros. Our next Zoom is October 15th, Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time. So you can take a picture of the screen, and I would love to see many of you then. It's once a month. We'll cover from 60 to 70 pros next time. Again, if you're interested in the book, I'll be happy to mail you book. Please email me your mailing address. I'll be happy to mail you Shi Ban Gong Bei book as a gift. Once again, if anyone interested in supporting our foundation to help blind orphan children, you can visit wangfoundation.com. And if you want to get a book based on which the film site is made, you can just donate $25 to Wang Foundation. If you write check to Wang Foundation. Finally, we really appreciate your help to our Sai Foundation, which is dedicated to helping blind orphan children, by sharing this free Sai movies link to as many folks as you can. Because more people watch the film Sai, more people will know about our foundation work in helping blind orphan children with these new breakthrough technologies, such as amniotic membrane contact lens, and more blind orphan children will get helped. So share this free Sai screen link to as many folks as you can, because you're literally help us to help more blind orphan children. All of these surgeries are free. So today, we finished the installment of Shi Ban Gong Bei Pros. Shi Ban Gong Bei is an ancient Chinese saying about accomplishing twice the work in half the time. So it's about combining the wisdom of East and West to accomplish things more successfully, efficiently. And on the screen is my contact information, and you can take a picture. And if you want to watch the film, and on the screen you can take a picture, is the film link as such. If any of you interested in vision information, in the chat room, you will see that I have put my contact information there in the chat room. Okay, anybody has any question? Feel free to speak out. You can unmute yourself, and Dr. Chen, in appreciation of his hosting Zoom, can go ahead and unmute. Anybody can unmute yourself. Go ahead. Anybody question? Max, you have any question? You have heard this talk many times, right?
Yeah, many times. Yeah.
Any one particular pearl you have used or you find to be useful? You can add a pearl about life.
Okay, it's really about dealing with people, dealing with projects, and also the different as at least the first and the second one. Yeah.
Yeah, partnership is important. And
Yeah,
Max is a computer guy. He runs a AI computer company, and you have experience that identify the right partner is so important. With the right partner, you may be able to do the right thing, but with the wrong partner, you can never do the right thing, which is Pro 1 and 2.
Yeah, and also have to thank you for your advice, my expert advice about my dry eye. So I went to the eye doctor. I mean, and so the same thing is the dry eye issue for that, and really appreciate that.
Well, next time you go,
Yeah.
next time you go, ask them to treat you with amnion membrane contact lens.
Okay.
Yeah, insurance company cover.
Oh, that also help with dry eyes?
Yes.
Oh.
And it's the newest, the most powerful treatment for dry eyes right now. It's a $5 billion industry worldwide today. And just ask your doctor, you say, I got dry eye, I heard amniotic membrane contact lens, which my friend invented, can be used to treat. And the doctor should be able to do it because it's just a contact lens. And you wear it for like 2 or 3 days. And you go back, or you can self-remove it. And you improve your dry. It does not eradicate dry, but it's kind of lessen your dryness. And keep your eyes young. The young person have wet eyes. So that's the scientific base for the amniotic membrane treatment for dry eyes as such.
So for that prescription have to be ordered by the MD or the OD will be fine?
OD will be fine.
Oh, really? Okay.
MD or OD, but you have to ask for it. You have to say, do you use the amniotic membrane contact lens for treating dry eye? Not all doctors, OD, MD use it. So you have to find one. You can even walk in the clinic if they can. I mean, it's insurance covered.
Okay.
You know, insurance covered, so it's no out of pocket for you. As long as the facility take your insurance, they should be able to order the amniotic contact lens, and you can put in. They can put in for you, and if we're like 2 or 3 days, a little bit blurry for just one eye, then it works you do the other eye. It's very, very popular. It's a $5 billion a year industry.
Wow.
Amniotic membrane contact lens treating dry eye. I did not make any money because I donate my patent in the beginning, but I'm happy that my invention has helped millions right now.
Well, how do you spell that?
Amniotic membrane contact lens. I will put in the chat room.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Dr. Chen, the chat is disabled, it says.
Now it's okay.
Yours okay? Oh, it's working now. Okay. So amniotic membrane contact lens treatment for dry eyes. And what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to do better. I'm actually going to put a link about the amniotic membrane. And let me do that. I put in the chat room, okay? So this is the link.
Thank you.
Amniotic membrane. And you can actually click that link. You can learn everything about it. And you can, let me put that link there. There it is. In the chat room, you see.
Thank you.
Amniotic membrane content. You're welcome to try us. And that's the link. And you can just ask your doctor. Not all doctors uses, MD or OD is fine, but not all doctors use the amniotic membrane contact lens, or not all doctors actually know this can treat dry eyes. However, as I said, it's a $5 billion a year industry worldwide today, and tens of thousands of eye doctors have used it. I taught most of them, and throughout the world, millions of patients have had eyesight helped. And dry eye is the most common indication for use of amniotic membrane contact lens. The story of invention of amniotic membrane contact lens is featured in the film Sight itself. In the chat room, you see the free link of how to watch the film Sight. Again, I appreciate everybody pass the free link of Sight to friends, because more people watch it, more people will know about foundations working helping blind orphan children, and therefore more blind orphan children will be helped. So just share the free link of Sight in the chat room with friends, because you're literally helping the foundation to help more blind orphan children. So we have Yanling's question, and I see. Anybody else has any question?
Very good. Okay.
Hunter, I see my friends Hunter there, Lily Yan, W. Anybody else has any question? And
yes,
Doctor,
can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Grace, yes.
Yeah, so your Pearl 36, people might be wrong, but want to be heard and respected. When you were talking about that, I was thinking about how a lot of patients tend to, they come into a doctor's office and maybe they're completely wrong about something. And so when you have a patient who, is completely incorrect about something, how do you correct them and tell them that their belief is wrong while still making them feel respected and heard?
Grace, you asked one of the most important questions in medicine, because patients has less medical knowledge than doctors, but they are human beings. They need to be just as respected. So how do you respect someone, but at the same time pointing out they're wrong? First of all, it's one of the most important questions in medicine, because most doctors do not do a good job. Do not. And I'm not doing a perfect job either, but I'm at least recognizing that I could make a mistake in that department. So for example, this is an extreme example, but is along the line of what you said. One time I have this patient who, didn't have too much education, didn't know about the eye too much. He came in, he said he needs an eye exam. He sat down, he said, Dr. Wang, you're gonna examine my eyes? I said, yes. He said, can you just take it out and wash it? Make sure you put it back. I mean, in all seriousness, he said that. So, of course, I could say, Johnny, what are you talking about? We don't take your eyeball out in the eye exam. But no one wants to be told they're wrong. No one. So what I did then, I just said, no problem. Okay? And actually, I don't need to take it out. I've got a technique. I can actually wash your eyes and correct your prescription and leaving it in place. So I did the right thing, because taking his eye out would be the wrong thing to do. But actually, I avoid altogether criticizing him at all. Now, sometimes a patient say, I want to have surgery. Then the right thing to do is not to have surgery. So now I'm in a difficult situation, because they think they need a surgery. So unavoidably, I literally have to tell them they're wrong. Okay? So what I did in that circumstance, which is, by the way, a pearl coming up later in the book, is I put a sandwich. I put in a sandwich. Sandwich correct, sandwich wrong, and end up with correct. And I would say something like, Johnny, you are correct in coming to see me because you do have an eye problem. So other patients may not recognize their problem. They did the wrong thing. They did not come to see an eye doctor. So I'm glad you did it. So that's right. But you're incorrect that you actually need a surgery. Right now, you don't need a surgery right now. Okay? Because scientific reasons. Finally, I end up with a correct assessment of him. I said, however, I want to conclude by saying that I'm glad you voiced that opinion, because sometimes my patients don't say what they think, don't leaving me guessing, because at the end of the day, as a doctor, it's not what I think is most important is most important. It's what my patient think and feel is most important is most important. So you see, Grace, I was straightforward, honest, pointed out he's wrong. He does not need a surgery, but I sandwiched that negative, critical thinking, the criticism with too positive reassurance. So that's another technique, how to point out someone is wrong by sandwich the criticism among two praises. But there are other techniques. But the fact that you ask this question is excellent, shows that you are developing the awareness of one of the most important questions ever in medicine. That is, doctors sometimes forget. A patient may not have as much medical knowledge, but they have just as much common sense as human beings. The fact that they do not know as much medicine does not discount in any way they are lacking in any common sense. And one of the common sense that everybody recognizes is that every single human being wants to be respected. So patient wants to be respected too, even though they don't know as much medicine. So I'm giving another example, Grace, since you asked such an excellent question. One of the common mistakes doctors make is this. Grace, you come to see me, I lay out the diagnosis, and I say, Grace, there are 3 things we can do. Okay, treatment A, treatment B, treatment plan C. You tell me. You pick one, and I will do it. That is absolutely wrong way of practicing medicine. Yeah, some doctors say, yeah, leave the choice to patients. I mean, come on. You leaving the decision to someone who have the least knowledge to make that decision. Is that respecting that human being? No. You're the doctor. You have the medical knowledge. You have to make the decision. After listening to the patient, trading places, figure out what's wrong with the patient, speaking their language, speaking on their behalf, at the end of the day, you cannot leave the medical condition to your patients because they have less medical knowledge than you. Leaving a decision to someone who has less knowledge to make that decision is definitely a way to show disrespect to that human being. But how prevalent this way of practicing medicine? It's every day. You go to the doctor, hey, Grace, yeah, you can take this pill or you can take this medicine. You tell me what you want. I will write a prescription. What? So doctors sometimes may have medical knowledge, but they probably lacking some common sense. Having superb knowledge does not mean one has equal, sufficient common sense. As a matter of fact, I would say many doctors don't have as much common sense as average people because doctors are bookworms. They study, they remember, and they gravitate towards memorization and not human connection. But also doctors, very difficult to learn common sense. Do you know why, Grace? Why doctors are weak in common sense, but yet they are the worst students to learn about common sense? It's because the doctors think they're pretty good. Nothing to learn about life, without realizing that I've been praised by my teachers, elementary school, middle school, not because they are saying, Ming, you're such a great human emotion connection, understand human feeling. No, they are praising me because my mathematics, my memorization is too good, so good. So they're only praising me as I grew up in my objective half of the world. They did not tell me that I'm strong in the subjective half of the world, which is emotion, intuition, human connection. So doctors are weak in human connection, and they don't know about it. You know, there's something worse than being ignorant. There's something worse than being ignorant about something. So Grace, can you imagine something? That worse than being ignorant about something is one does not even know one is ignorant about something. That's worse than being ignorant. Because if you don't know you're ignorant, you are unwilling to learn. So doctors generally are unwilling to learn about common sense because they think they're pretty good, without realizing they're only good in half of the world, which is objective half of the world, not subjective. They're strong in mathematics, memorization, but they're weak in human connection, emotion. And that's an example. Doctor often say, hey, Grace, what do you want? Tell me. These two treatments. Come on, you're lacking common sense, doctor. You want your patient who have less medical knowledge than you to make a decision on a medical decision? This is a complete lack of common sense on the half of the doctor. So, great, excellent question, Grace. Anybody has any other questions?
Hi, Dr. Ming.
Yes.
Dr. Wang? Yeah, I'm Linda.
Oh, Linda, yes.
Yeah, nice to see you again.
Yes,
so,
nice to see
thank
you
you very
again.
much for your sharing your wonderful, excellent the speech again. I very appreciate. And I did not forget. I cannot remember which the power number, but it's my experience. Mine is remember is the when you're completed done the whole thing, only the 1% person will be the looking back what is improved, right?
Right.
Oh, my question is, what do you think about? What is the priorities impact you want to the first thing when you looking back, you're the completed done the whole things? Can you, for example?
Yeah. First of all, Linda, you're absolutely right. Most of the people don't look back.
Yeah.
They move on to next thing right away. And you know, we learn more from failure. And we learn more from failure than from success. But this only applies to people who are willing to study, pause, stop after failure, to ponder what is the lesson learned from their failure. So lots of people don't do that. They move on quickly to the next thing. So then for them, failure is not a good teacher. You know, so the success comes from failure is a statement only provided the person who has developed a behavior of after failure stop and think about what is life lesson I learned from the failure. Otherwise, the failure is not the mother of success because you don't learn. And it's interesting why we don't do that. You know, it seems does not make sense why most people naturally just move on, right? After fail something, just move to the next thing. It doesn't seem to make sense because you can improve as an individual, you can improve as a community. If we fail something, we do pause and stop and ask why we fail. Do you know why we don't pause and ponder? It's because the way we develop biologically. We have biological, it's all about survival, it's about efficiency. The efficiency biological survival always about survive enough to get the next meal. So the biological survival does not have a long-term feedback loop of you know, something beyond immediate success. Okay, and also biologically does not have a community success-based. So you don't think about anything else. So to ponder, to stop after failure, to think what it means to me, what it means to my community, how can we do better next time, it's going against human nature. Then you say, if that's the case, our biological behavior is myopic, only looking at next thing and think very shallowly. We don't think as a community. Does it doom us? Yes, it does doom us. Our 4 billion years the Earth have existed, life have appeared on this planet 4 billion years ago, every single species has disappeared. Every single species has gone extinct. None have survived. Because the biological behavior is short-lived. It's short survival, only good enough for the next meal. And biological behavior is not about self-improvement, nor for community good. So to learn these things, to do better, to learn from mistake, is a behavior against human nature, but it is a behavior may give human being a chance ever to succeed and survive as a species. So 99% human beings are natural, don't learn, 1% do. 1% recognize what I'm talking about. But when you are in that 1%, then it's a discipline. You have to learn. It's a learned behavior. We don't pause. But you have to say, okay, I'm not going to move on to the next thing. I'm going to study why I failed. And only by studying that can one improve. But it's only 1% people do that because it is not a naturally biological behavior. Most of human behaviors are biological, survival-based. And survival-based is survive long enough for the next meal, even though the whole species is for sure will go extinct if we just follow our biological instinct. Does that answer your question, or you have more questions? You asked a good question.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. But not only for the failures, right? I think it's successful. We also can learn from what is improved more effectively.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. That if something works, then don't move on the next thing and think about why it works, right? And one of the most important thing I talk about in one of the pros is when things work, we do not question it. That's also not good, because sometimes things work not because it's logical. It just happened to work.
Yeah.
It's luck. So we cannot be complacent. Oh, it works. I don't need to think it. No. What is the reason? It's at the end of the day, what the word of the day today is logical thinking. Shi Ban Gong Bei, it's about recognizing 77 irrational, illogical, therefore inefficient human behaviors, but they're predictable. Therefore, devise 77 predictable, systematic solutions to address them. And this prose learning is tremendous benefit for me. On average, Linda, I use 5 to 10 prose a day. My little black book carry with me all the time. You can finish reading the little black book in 10 minutes. I literally remember most of these prose, and I use on average 5 to 10 a day. For example, in my position, because I run a successful medical clinic, and I get requests every day, almost every day. Every other day, I get one request, an email about asking for donations to charity events or something. And one of my pros today is a person who always wants to take and never give will never be successful. So one time I was asking this question by a friend in one of the Shi Ban Gong Bei room, actually, is that, Dr. Wang, you want to help people, your foundation, everything, but it's impossible to help everybody. You have limited time, in lifespan as human being. How do you decide? I mean, you don't have time to help everybody, but you want to help. What do you do then? I said, I only help those that I want to help. They said, oh, how do you decide who you want to help?
Who you pick up, who you selected.
I said, I'm very selective, and I have very little, I have a gold testing stone. In Chinese, as you know, the old time emperor every day he was presented by this merchant. Say, oh, emperor, this is a gold. You need to give me lots of money. Oh, this is is a jade. You need to give me lots of money. And the emperor got fooled many times. So one day he became smarter. He found a little sharp stone, and it's not the gold. He hid that in his pocket. So next time a merchant say, hey, emperor, I've got this gold, this big gold stone. You need to pay me lots of money. The emperor pull out his gold testing stone, little sharp stone, strike on the surface. If a gold spark, then this ore is a gold because his testing stone is not gold. If no gold spark, this is a waste of time. He returned the ore. So I have my little gold testing stone to determine who I should respond about this charity donation request. You know what I do? Very simple.
Yes.
I would say, dear John, thank you so much for sending information about your worthwhile nonprofit organization. Sounds like very interesting. I'll take a look at it. Oh, by the way, I have a movie. Here's got a free link to the movie site. And we want more people to see this movie because more people see the movie, more people know about the foundation that help blind orphan children. So more blind orphan children can be helped. So if you don't mind, share this free link to people. Now you would think, Linda, he would see that, right? I said two things. One is recognizing he sent me a nonprofit donation request. I will look into it. Second, I have a little request.
Link.
The second sentence is my gold testing stone. Now you would expect that, Linda, you and I are equal, right? Meaning we're all two human beings. You're not better than me. I'm not better than you. We're the same. So equal friends. If I want something, you can say, yeah, Ming, I don't want to give to you, or vice versa, right? No obligation. But what if I want something from you? I say, Linda, please give me money. You know, I have this nonprofit, whatever. Our status is not equal. I'm actually below you because I need something from you, right? Can you imagine if you then say, Ming, I will consider maybe help your nonprofit, but I have a small request over here. Can you imagine I ignore what you say? No way. I need something from you and you say something. Of course, I'm going to pay attention. But the reality is totally different. I have found when I get this weekly, every other day, 2 to 3, 4 times a week, that charity donation request, I give them a gold testing stone, every single one. I say, dear John, this is good charity work you're doing. Very interesting. Let me take a look at it. Oh, by the way, if you don't mind, follow this, share this free screening to friends. Okay, that's helpful to our foundation. 99, are you ready, Linda? 99% people respond that email that I sent in this way. Oh, Dr. Wang, thank you so much. You're going to look into my nonprofit organization. Yeah, let me know after you look at it if you want to donate. Thank you so much. That's it. As if I never put my second sentence.
But for me, as
so when I recognize that's the person Johnny is, he will never get another email from me because he already failed my gold testing stone. And I find shockingly, when people need something from me, in this case, most of the time it's charity donation money, 99% ignore what I want. I mean, it's completely irrational. It's irrational, it's stupid, it's illogical, but that's human behavior. Human beings so self-centered. Yes. Even when Johnny needs something from someone else, he will ignore that someone else. Can you imagine when I was school, right? Professors very important to me, right? I cannot help the professor anything, but the professor can help me a lot. If professor likes me, he's going to give me a good grade, right? As a student, I'm in an unequal position. I'm beneath the professor, so to speak. I cannot help the professor anything, but he can certainly help me a lot. Can you imagine if professor want a cup of coffee, I don't get him a coffee? No way, I'm going to run to the coffee, get the coffee for him in a heartbeat, because it's my rare opportunity to help the professor. But today in human society, you can do your gold testing stone. You will realize that people are so self-centered when they want something from you, Linda, and you just throw into gold testing stone, they will fail 99% of the time. They ignore what you said, the second sentence.
I do
see that. When you see that, Linda, ignore that person. because he's the 99%, it's not worth your time. I'm not making a judgment that person is good or bad, whatever. It's just that person's not life is two ways, as is shown in the Pearl. Why you bother? You cannot change anyone in life. If that's the way they are, that's the way they will be. Not life two ways. Don't waste your time.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yes.
Anybody else has any questions?
Dr. Ming?
Yes?
Dr. Wang?
Yes.
It's Lana in Los Angeles.
Yes,
Hello there.
Lana. I thought that was you.
Dr.
Yeah.
Wang. Pardon?
So good to see you again.
It is. It's always enjoyable hearing from you. I want
Thank
to
you.
tell your audience something different than what most have experienced. I was fortunate, beyond fortunate, to see Sight, and Dr. Wang was there. It was one of the most incredible screenings, one of the most. Dr. Wang, as you know, we see many movies here in LA, but very few have touched us to the degree that Sight did. Unbelievable. And for any of you who are still going to see Sight, please, please watch it. It is an inspiration. It is a gift to society. And the humbleness that Dr. Wang shows is still demonstrated tonight on this screen. His quietness in succeeding volumes is what we noticed. There was such a degree of respect during this film. It was greater than what we even anticipated. And from that came a friendship. So I'm very fortunate beyond to be spreading the word of your magnificent film. And even if you've seen it once or a partial of it, see it again. But remember, we were one of the few who got to share it with Dr. Wang. And I don't have a question so much, but I'm going to make another comment, okay? Because you've inspired us so much. What I do want to comment, you obviously are a very religious man, and you don't force your religion on us. You suggest religious foundations for everyone. I'm sure you know that this week is the start of the Jewish New Year.
Yes.
I wish all of you a very, very happy New Year. And it doesn't matter if you're Jewish, Christian, whatever. But in this Rosh Hashanah beginning, we are written into the book of life. What a great thought. All of us, the book of life. And then on Yom Kippur, next week, the book is sealed. May your name be sealed in the book of life. We need you. We need you so much, my dear friend. And all of you, please take his message seriously. And Snoopy, who we all know of, once said, there's no sense in barking if there's nothing to bark about. Dr. Wang, you don't bark, you inform. Always good wishes to you, and may you be sealed in that book of life.
Thank you, Lana. Thank you so much, and happy Jewish holiday. That's I have tons of Jewish friends, and what was most remarkable about all of my Jewish friends is, number one, they are all very talented, very, very smart, and excel in all fields across, art and engineering, science. And for example, that Jewish have the most number of Nobel Prize winners in the world, and very disproportionately so, for the population, that the ratio of Nobel Prize winner to overpopulation is number one in the world. But not only that, I'm an artist at heart. You think about the top violinist, Yasha Heifetz, Asa Stern, Yehudi Menuhin, all Jewish. I mean, as a Perman, right? So I hold great respect. And it's interesting that Jewish and Chinese have so much in common about the respect for family, respect for knowledge, and the respect for, in this case, that where you're talking about the need to see common ground of human race. Our country, our world is so divided, so polarized today. We're increasingly fixated on differences among people rather than appreciating what we have in common. We're increasingly unable to work across political aisles, racial divides, and ethnic divisions to solve the problem that we really need to solve as a society, right? Gun violence, opioid crisis, environmental disaster, racial tension, poverty, education, jobs, healthcare. But we're not solving it because people are so busy polarizing ourselves, And when I came to America, 1982, the expression that really impressed me, there was a fresh breath of fresh air, and it really made me understand why America attract people from around the world. And it's this statement. They say America is represented by this statement. That is, I may not agree with what you say, but I will defend to my death your right to say it. Unfortunately, America is going away from that. We are becoming a nation that is increasingly intolerant of differences. We are becoming a nation that increasingly unable to work together across the racial and political differences. And we're becoming a nation that when you meet someone who's different, that we yell and shout and demonizing the other side. So I hope movie Sight, through the story of a Chinese immigrant came to America, through the effort trying to help these kids through develop medical technology, through demonstrating, yeah, it's a Chinese family, but it's very much like a Jewish family. Mother and daddy and pursue happiness, joy. It's the same. Human beings, we have so much in common than we are different. At the end of the day, we are all vulnerable inhabitants of this little flying rock in space, which is traveling with a maddening speed at 680 kilometers per second as part of the solar system. Solar system as part of the Milky Way is running maddening speed towards the center of the great attractor, when deep in the universe, biggest the black hole is known to exist over there. So we could be hit by a meteoroid anytime, right? So human race, doesn't matter domestically or internationally, we really have no choice but try to find a way to work together, And so the shared humanity is our ultimate common ground. But America and the world today is going in the wrong direction. Human beings are increasingly polarized, divided, self-destructive, whether you're talking about, the Middle East, you're talking about Russian, Ukraine war, you talk about China, Taiwan, everything. I mean, domestically, the Democratic Republican division, but it's human are divided because of power, money, and control. So we need to rise above that. I'm hoping that Sight will bring, in some ways, that send a message that is a Chinese immigrant story, but it's our story, it's all of our stories. We as human beings have so much more in common than we're different.
Thank you for contributing to this melting pot of success. We all appreciate you.
Thank you, Lana. Thank you. You're my Jewish sister, and I really appreciate it.
And anybody, please, if you haven't seen the film, please make it a priority. It is better than what Dr. Wang has said because of his humbleness. The greatness is shown on the screen. And thank you again. You have a date in Los Angeles to join us at another film. So we're waiting to hear from you.
Thank you, Lana. Appreciate it. Actually, I met Lana initially at the Academy of Motion Pictures when they did a screening of Sight. That's like the day after, I think, public release of the Sight film in Los Angeles. And next trip I'm out there, I'll be sure we'll go out to dinner or something.
Sounds great. I do want to share something very quickly. I had no idea who Dr. Wang was. and I saw a man in the lobby in a red Chinese garment. Red is my favorite color. I went up to this person who was Dr. Wang, but again, I had no idea who he is. And I complimented him on his red jacket. And he was as gracious as one could expect. And then during the movie, I realized this is about Dr. Wang, that man in the red jacket. And at the very end, I was fortunate to meet you. So we do have a common thread among many things of liking red.
Yes.
Thank you again for all you contribute.
Thank you. Thank you, Lana. Thank you. Anyone else have any question? Anyone? I saw Hunter, my friend there, Lily, Wang Ying, Dr. Chen. And I want to remind everybody that what's in the chat room. The next Vision Zoom, if anyone interested, is September 30th, Tuesday, 6:45 p.m. Central Time. Is in the chat room right now, you see. And the next Shi Ban Gong Bei, we're going to cover from Pearl 50 to 60, will be October 15th, Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. same time. Finally, the free link for the movie site. And once again, really appreciate everyone sharing this free link together with folks, because we want to spread the word. More people see this film free, more people will know about the foundation work, so we can help more blind orphan children. And I always feel that I'm very lucky, very fortunate to, have a life, have a family, have friends like all of you. And, that's what each of us can do, right? A few decades of life on this planet to do something to help the place, make the place a little bit better, live, the earth. I think common ground is very important, and mutual respect is very important. And so, Dr. Chen, thank you again for hosting it. And thank you, Lana. Thank you, Max, and Linda, everybody, Grace. I will see you all either at the Zoom, September 30th, or next Shi Ban Gong Bei, October 15th. And again, as Lana said, if you have not seen the film, or if you have friends who have not seen the film, really appreciate you share the free link in the chat room. You can take a picture of chat room before it disappears, and then you can just send to friends. Thank you, and thank you, Dr. Chen, once again, for doing such a great job in the Shi Ban Gong Bei Pro. See everybody October 15th, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wang.
Thank you, 谢谢.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Lana. Thank you, 谢谢.